Welcome, everyone, to the Late Show with your host, Kallo Landis. And of course, joining me is my cohort and partner in crime who is doing something with something over there, Mini Bun.
Sorry, I was cooling off my computer with some ice. Hi.
See, first show and she's over there dropping ice on your computer? What? Really? You have to use ice on your computer?
Yeah, I need a better cooling rack one day.
Alright, well,
Hi, everybody!
I apologize for the cheap drum roll at the beginning there. We are running on limited funds for the Late Show. That was 3 lates, there's actually maybe 2 lates. But yes, hello, welcome everybody. Let me flip it over to the stream for us really quick. Hey, check out our cool new set. Ah, crap, Mini Bun. That was my bad. There we go. All right,
what did
she's
I
good.
do?
Nothing. You didn't do anything. I screwed up.
I don't even have the stream on right now. I just had the chat up.
That's all right. So,
what did you do?
a few things. Yes, there seems to be a crap ton of lag right now. We have no idea why. Juxta was doing a bunch of stuff, but I know that he's stopped recently. So honestly, I have no idea what the problem is. I'm sure the video looks terrible, but I hope the sound is uninterrupted. Mini Bun with her mouth fedora. You're just doing that to rub it in my face now, aren't you?
Huh?
You're just doing it to rub it in my face now, aren't you?
Now what I can do it in your face.
Oh, great. Thanks. Here we go. Thanks for that. We appreciate it. All right, so a lot of people.
Off my camera.
A lot of people have been asking, what's this all about? What's going on? What the fuck are you doing? What's the Late Show with Kallo Landis? Well, the Late Show with Kallo Landis is exactly what it sounds like. It's a show that I'm going to do very, very late, 11 o'clock here Eastern. Since I've been taking to streaming quite a bit late into the night, this is actually day 16 in a row, 16th day of 2016 streaming. And it was actually something that happened really naturally, very, very organically. In the chat, people are like, hey, it's Kallo after dark, and then someone's like, nah, it's always dark. Hey, it's the Late Show with Kallo. I'm like, you know what, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Late shows, such as Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Fallon, are often very popular. They're very funny to watch, and I thought, you know what, I bet that's something we can do here. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and style a little talk show and a Late Show format. Yes, people, I look and I sound like death. I have been allergy-free for like the past 4 or 5 days. And then today, allergies like, oh, hey, you're doing a thing tonight? Well, don't worry, we'll be there early. It's been absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And I am so sorry. Yeah, and I still, like I said, I have no idea what's wrong with the buffering, guys. I really don't, and I am so sorry. I know that it sucks. Alright, so that's what's basically going on tonight. Okay? There's a few other things, since this is something maybe people are seeing for the first time. We are under gaming talk shows, just like we do with Final Encounter Cast. But just in case there are any of you who are watching, this is your first time stumbling across something like this, I want to take a little bit of time to tell you about some of the other stuff we do that led to this show. The first thing, and if you look directly below me, there's a few details. We have different places that you can find our products, different places that you can check us out, ways that you can contact for the show. Limit Break Radio. That's how this whole thing started. All right, 9 years ago, me and Aniro got together and we're like, you know what? We want to do a podcast for, at the time, Final Fantasy XI, and it took off pretty great. I mean, really, it's kind of like one of those the rest is history sort of things. We recently started the podcast back up with Final Fantasy XIV, which has been a tremendous success. Almost a year ago, we relaunched the podcast for Final Fantasy XIV. And again, almost a year ago, we launched our crowdfunding campaign. We started asking you, the viewers, for money from our podcast, and there was tremendous positive outpour and support. And because of it, we've been able to do all kinds of wonderful things. One of those things that we've done is we've increased our presence on Twitch tremendously. Up until we started doing We started doing the Twitch stuff. It was just a podcast format, and getting into Twitch has just been amazing for us, right? And we started doing a second podcast called Final Encounter Cast, which is dedicated to gaming news in general. We cover all kinds of nerd things on there. And recently, Aniro, otherwise known as Nate Bender, he has also started doing sort of a morning talk show thing called Nate in the Morning. So those are just some of the things that have been popping up all over the place here on Limit Break Radio and Final Encounter Cast you can look forward to, right? But none of those are here. None of those are there. Obviously, I encourage you to check out limitbreakradio.com, finalencountercast.com. Go over to finalencountercast.twitch.tv. Make sure you follow us there. You can find us on Twitter. All of those things, blah, 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 blah. But that's that. And this is here. We're doing the late night show. So, maybe we should talk about ourselves. You know, let people get to know us a little bit more, right? Because that's what this is all about. Getting to know us, getting to know you, the chat. And the second most important person on this stream, of course, is Mini Bun. So we're going to start with Mini Bun. Mini Bun, how's it going?
Hi! It goes well.
Now you've only been a part of this little community here for, what, like 2 months?
I started listening again like 3 months ago, but I started talking like 2 months ago.
Yeah, so it hasn't been long, but you've rocketed in popularity right up to the top of the Limit Break Radio chain, and now look at you. You're a cohort on a newly developed show. How does it make you feel?
I'm a star.
You are indeed a star, and before too long, you will be selling your dignity the same way that we do.
Dude, I haven't had dignity for years.
Well, then you're gonna fit right in here.
I'm excited.
That's right. You're gonna fit right in here. Now, a lot of people who are already here in the chat, who have been here with us, you know, for quite a while, they obviously know who you are. But for anyone who might be joining us, you know, brand new, they just stumbled across the Late Late Show either on the stream here or maybe on YouTube, because we're gonna export to YouTube, maybe make it into a podcast form. Why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself as a gamer or as a streamer or whatever it is that you do?
I don't stream, but hi, my name is Mini Bun on here, but I'm more well known as Basinia Bun. That's my actual in-game name. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 since 1.0, then lost my account and had to make a new one, so no legacy tattoo for me.
Now, when you said you played in 1.0, did you actually really play in 1.0, or are you like Juxta and you were just part of the Marmot Brigade?
I think I got to level 20 and then quit.
That might have been a little bit further than Juxta was then.
Because Black Mage was awful in 1.0.
Ah,
so
yeah.
bad. So bad before they changed Fire and Ice and how that worked.
Yep. Now, one of the things that I find kind of weird, and that when you brought it up before, the people in the chat have found kind of weird, was you have talked about how normally you like to play 2 MMOs at the same time.
Yes.
Now, you're currently not doing that because you don't have a second MMO, right?
Right.
So how does that work exactly? I mean, for me, one MMO takes quite a bit of my time already and commands a lot of attention to get anywhere. I barely have enough time to play single-player games. How is it that you keep up with two MMO games?
Well, you see, since my soul is just made of poop sock, that is what my chemical makeup is, poop sock and sloth. What I usually do is I'll play 2 MMOs, I'll get to the end of one and sort of use the other on the side, and I'll get to the end game, do everything there is to do, or at least what I want to do, and then whenever I get bored of it, or I'm just burnt out on it, I'll go to the other game. I usually don't play the same 2 types of MMOs. I'll usually have like one tab targeting MMO that I play and then one action MMO that I play.
So what are the ones that you've used in the past then when you were playing 2 of them?
I did Mabinogi and WoW, which Mabinogi isn't much of an action MMO, but it was back in the day. By all intents and purposes, when you consider the rest of the MMO environment. And then I played this game in 1.0 just like on the side while I played Terra, and then I just played Terra for a while, and then I played Terra in Final Fantasy 14. And whenever I was just playing Terra, I was constantly trying out new MMOs, like every single game that Aria put out. which is awful. Every single game that Nexon put out, which is also awful. So I played a lot of awful MMOs.
All right, well, fair enough, fair enough. As for me myself, I started with Final Fantasy XI. That was my very first MMO. I then also played World of Warcraft was my second. I got into a little tiny bit of Guild Wars 2, and of course now I'm settled on Final Fantasy 14. And as far as gaming, single player stuff goes, since I got the new PC that I got, which is thank you to the generous people over at Limit Break Radio and all of those wonderful, wonderful viewers, I've gotten into Steam and kind of left console gaming behind. Like, whenever I look at any kind of console gaming anywhere that I might want to buy, I'm like, you know what, though? I could probably get it on Steam. So, console gaming's kind of fallen to the wayside, but I mostly play RPGs, action stuff. Honestly, with the way that they're blending in a lot of genres into games nowadays, I don't even know if there's really a single kind of genre that I would say that I'm into anymore. So, that's me. That's Visenya.
Yeah.
Now you
I'm
might
hoping
be...
that. Oh, I'm hoping that Blade and Soul is going to fill that second MMO slot that I need.
You've been talking
just as something
about,
I play on.
Yeah, needing a second thing. But you're almost level 60 on Final Fantasy 14, so I don't know how I feel about you getting another MMO and then not being there to heal me when I need it.
No, the thing is like I will still probably play this for the same amount of time. It's just whenever I usually log off this game, I go and watch YouTube, or I go and play another game. But I want to play another MMO, so whenever I log off this game, I'll probably just like chill and casually play Blade and Soul, since it's kind of a solo player game anyways.
Oh, you're one of those filthy casuals.
Only on one game.
Only on one game. All right, fair enough then. Fair enough. So that's us. That's what's going on with the show. Now you might be asking yourself, so how does this work? What's the format going to be like? Because when I watch the late night shows like Conan or Jimmy Fallon, they're funny. They have little stand-up monologues they do at the beginning. They have famous people coming on their stream and talking about all kinds of cool things, giving us sneak peeks into like movies that are coming up or projects that they're doing. Is that the kind of stuff that we can look forward to seeing on here? No, not even the slightest. Because first of all, I don't have a ace team of comedic writers sitting in my backstage area somewhere writing me up all kinds of really awesome witty material. Basically what I do is every night while I sit in bed alone with my thoughts, terrifying, I know, I think up jokes that I could tell on stream, like, comparing Palpatine to Donald Trump, but then I realize that people have already done that, and that's probably just a comic that I read someplace, so no. If you're coming here for the comedic value, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But what you can look forward to seeing is what I'm thinking about doing at the beginning to replace the sort of comedic monologue thing going forward. Not today, because we have a lot of, this intro stuff that we're talking about. As I want to go into certain forums, that are well known, maybe stuff like Reddit, something awful, and just read and make fun of their shit posts that we find on there, right? Because that's always entertaining and fun.
Yeah.
That's right. Mini Bun's also looking forward to that kind of stuff. She's really great at the voiceovers, by the way, which that's actually weeaboo voiceovers. That could be a thing that we do on stream as well. Yeah, we'll think about turning that into a segment. So you can look forward to stuff like that, general kind of entertainment. We want to make you laugh. Whether or not we're going to be successful as that is a different story or not, but we're going to try. Now, the other thing, when it comes to interviews, is, you know what? You're not going to see anyone like fucking Brad Pitt on this show, or the voice of Solid Snake, David Hayter. Although, if you head on over to Final Encountercast, one of our first episodes actually featured an interview with David Hayter about the old... Actually, I'm not really sure where that is or how that's progressed, but when the voice actor was going to go on strike, or potentially go on strike, David Hayter was actually on Final Encountercast and talked to us. So, you should go up there and check out that kind of stuff. But as far as this show goes, the type of people that we're going to be interviewing is you. You guys in the chat right here. I think that one of the big things that makes Twitch so successful is the way that they integrate what people are watching, the entertainment that they see, their favorite streamers, with the people who are watching, with the gamers out there, right? Twitch brings gamers together in all sorts of different facets, and whether you're in the chat, whether you're looking in the background, or whether you're the one behind the microphone and behind the camera, there is definitely this big sense of community and this sense of cohesion between those making content and those consuming content. And I think when you get into this one-on-one or two-on-one kind of environment where it's just you in the chat, for some reason, and I can't really explain it, but those tend to be a lot more popular than the shows that you get set up that are meant to be more like talk shows. You know, it's something that me and Aniro witnessed last week when we found a show on Twitch called The Level Up Show, which was set up amazing. It looked like a real proper like Good Morning America talk show, except with this whole like gamer slash nerd theme, right? Like they looked like they were professionally funded. They were on episode 106 and they had 73 viewers. What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, and they were in gaming talk shows. Now meanwhile, at the top of the list was this dude, right, who, sorry, wasn't even very good looking, right? He was just like this awkward, sort of nerdy, like Asian kind of looking guy, right? And he was sitting hunched over his computer with the camera sort of face down a hallway corner with a closet. The closet was open. There was like a hockey stick and like open boxes in the background. Like this dude basically just woke up from a, you know, long masturbation session, was like, all right, I'm going to stream now, plops himself down. I have no idea what the fuck he was talking about, but he had 1,200 viewers. Why? Why? Like, the next closest person was, like, someone with 10,000, or not 10,000, 1,000 viewers. And she was smoking hot and kind of had the camera, like, pointed down her shirt a little bit, so she had a little bit of cleavage going on. I get that. I 100% get that. If I had that going for me, I would totally work it, but I don't, right? And so I think that the reason why they have so many viewers and shows like the Level Up Show don't, I think it's because they don't have that intimate connection with the chat. Right? When you guys sit here, you know, people like About 88 Kittens, Guilty Crown X, Mr. Jack, Melkyria, Jimlink 1994, Onin, right? When you guys sit down here to watch us, there's this kind of intimacy going on. I mean, even though there are tons and tons and tons of you in the chat here watching us, there's this sort of one-on-one thing kind of going on. You know, even if you're just lurking in the background, there's still this intimate sort of thing. Like, we're talking to you. Right? When you have a talk show, the hosts are talking to each other, they're talking to themselves, the bouncing, the back and forth is going off, right? But when you get into a situation like this, it's a lot more intimate, and I think that speaks to you a little bit better. For anyone just joining us, Tetra Nova Concept says, video stuttering for anyone else, audio is on point, but video is sluggish. Yes, I'm not really sure what the problem is tonight. Sometimes on our connection we do have a little bit of lag issues. As long as the audio is coming through,
It's
fine.
Juxta's fault.
We're going to blame it on Juxta. He's my roommate. He's also one of the other hosts of Limit Break Radio and Final Encounter Cast. We're going to blame it on him. It's probably not his fault, but that's what we're going to blame it on. So if you guys just want to, you know, throw insults towards him and say whatever it is that you will, go right ahead. Sacrifice fetishes and put, you know, needles into voodoo dolls to him. Might not help, but it could. It could at this point. I'm willing to try anything. So that's what this show is about. This show is about talking to you, the gamers, right? The viewers, the lurkers, the other Twitch streamers. You know, I'm gonna try to maybe get some other quote unquote famous or notable Twitch people on here every once in a while for an interview. We're really good friends with Samus Rageborn, Joe Never Fails, who is a huge personality right now, who's getting more and more and more traction outside of the Final Fantasy XIV community, and who you should definitely check out. I'm sure if I reached out to Mr. Happy, which I'm sure a lot of you know, he'd probably come on the show and talk with me. If I could get someone like MTQ, that would be great. I don't
Oh
really
my
know.
god, please, she's my biggest crush.
Right? Mine too. I don't know like any bigger names than that if I'd be able to get them on here or not. But hell, it's worth trying out. But the important thing is getting people like you guys on here to talk to us about stuff that you do, right? That's essentially where this is going to, right? Now, that does come with a disclaimer, okay? Because there's probably a lot of you being like, oh guys, this is so cool. I want to be on this show. I want to talk to Kallo. I want to see if I can get Mini Bun's number. I can totally do this. By the way, guys, she's taken. I've already done the research. It's pretty solid. I don't think that you guys are going to be able to split up Mini Bun and Boy Bun. He's pretty fucking epic. If you had the choice, though, I would definitely go with Boy Bun. He cooks, he cleans, he can fix cars.
He's so much more productive than I am.
Yeah, she just sits around.
Right now,
does this shit with me.
he's actually fixing the interior of his car because he decided he wanted to sell it.
Oh no, he's gonna sell the car?
Yeah, because he wants a good car.
It's an Ultima that he has.
Ultima.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he needs to get himself like a Mustang. Get himself like a nice, good muscle car.
Right?
Yeah. Then he can like Vin Diesel it up, get all like fast and furious, right?
You should see him watch Top Gear. He just like the envy in his eyes. He's
Aw.
just like, I want that.
Top Gear is
It's
about
like,
cars. For some reason, I thought it was about planes. It's probably because of Top. It's probably about Top Gun. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
okay.
All right.
Not judging you. Not at
So-
all.
Disclaimer. This is the disclaimer. Anyone who potentially wants to call into the show, who wants to get on here, either ask us questions, maybe get interviewed, have a little chat with us, you need Skype, and you need to send me some contact details right down there to my Skype name, LBR_Kallo. Now, when you do this, please include your chat name so I know who you are. If it's a particular topic you want to talk to tonight, maybe include that in there as well. But this is what you need to keep in mind, all right? And I'm only saying this one time. So listen up, guys, all right? Not everybody has what it takes to be entertaining, right? It's a harsh truth, but it's the truth nonetheless, all right? Whether it's that you don't have a very commanding or good quality sounding voice or equipment, maybe it's not your fault.
Or if you have a lot of background noise.
Or a lot of background noise. If I hear a fucking baby crying or a dog barking, I'm dropping your ass so fucking quick. Not playing around here, guys, alright? But more importantly, some people, as much as I hate to admit it, and as much as I think you hate to admit it, some people are just awkward. They really are. They just drive people away. Just the very sound of their voice. Just, you know... And sometimes, you know, people sit here and they talk to people off camera who aren't even part of the show, and it's just, it really gets to you. Is that boy bun or is that bro bun?
That's boy bun. I told him that there's a camera, and so he's just standing there drinking.
What's he drinking?
What are you drinking, baby? Vodka.
Vodka. Vodka's good.
You could walk by. I don't think any. I think my stream's just cropped for my face, so you can walk by. You're just gonna stand there menacingly? Okay.
This is the other cool thing that I'm excited about. Talk show hosts usually have mugs, so I of course got my own mug.
I don't.
I'm a big Harley Quinn fan, so that's who's on my mug, Harley Quinn. There's nothing special in the mug, it's just water. There he goes, boy bun.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the disclaimer. There was actually someone that I've had on my stream recently that was telling a story. I'm not going to name any names because I'm not looking to, you know, make anybody feel bad or call anybody out. But there was one particular time where I had somebody on the stream, and there were people in the chat making comments about how awkward it sounded, right? They couldn't take it. They're just like, you know, sorry guys, this isn't really my thing. I'm going to bow out though, right? Unfortunately, and it happens on some of our other shows like Limit Break Radio and Final Encounter Cast all the time, we get people who are calling in, and they're just not radio quality, right? So, unfortunately, if you call in, and for whatever reason, I deem you guys not radio quality, I will be dropping you from the call. It's nothing personal. It is just in the best interest of getting as many viewers as we can and putting on a great show. So, there's a few things that I need you to keep in mind.
He just fucking blew smoke at
I
me.
saw that. How do you like it?
You dick.
Few things I need you to keep in mind. If you want to call in, you need to ask yourself, if I call in and they think that I sound like a weeaboo and they don't want to talk to me and they drop me from the call, how's that going to make me feel? If you're okay with that, by all means, send me some contact info. You know, we'll see if we can get you in the call. But if that type of thing upsets you and makes you kind of think twice about it, good. Good, you should be thinking twice about it. Because if I bring you into this call and you start trying to talk about some weeaboo shit, you get on my nerves. I feel like emotionally scarring Minnie Bun and making her drop you from the call, or any reason. If I feel like kicking you from my show for any reason, and you come into chat and you start bitching and whining about it, we will savage you. We will absolutely savage you. Okay?
Can I also say that if, for instance, a good example, Mr. Happy's roast of a Nero Grigori,
Oh, gosh.
you would have been dropped.
Yeah. Absolutely. So think twice. Think twice before sending me contact info or wanting to call in. Because if it doesn't work out, we will drop you. Now, I'm not going to be mean about it, right? I'm not going to be mean about it. I'll be nice about it at first, right? But if you start coming back whining, there's going to be trouble. Alright? So, that's essentially how the majority of the format of the show is going to go. Now, there's also some other things that we have planned too. Alright? If you are a regular here on this stream, I'm sure you've heard a lot of different voices before, and I've worked out a few deals with some people to do entertaining little bits. Right? Little bits, little skits, little like sections of the show that sort of break up the call format, the interview format, and are entertaining in general, right? So the example that I have on hand, which I'm not going to necessarily play for you because I don't have that at hand, but we have someone who's usually here in the chat by the name of Shintasin, right? He's got a really deep, as Mini Bun would say, a buttery
voice.
Yes, he's very pleasurable to talk to and listen to, and that is definitely not a challenge fap if you had him reading 50 Shades of Grey. He likes to drink, and he also likes a snack. So we've sort of turned him into a concierge of sorts of drinking and snacking. And we had one night where we had him, he had bourbon. He had bourbon, and he had a cinnamon bun. And we kind of had a little scientific taste testing, if you will, on what the best way is to eat a cinnamon bun with bourbon. And it was great. You know, he talked us through it, different things he tried, how it went for him, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And we're going to give him his sort of own little segment to do on here every once in a while. And that's going to be called Bullshintery with Shintasin. There's a cool little title card, courtesy of Malkyria. And since we're on the topic there, any of you
Was it Malkyria or was it Malkythera?
It was Malkythera. Sorry, yes, Malkythera. When I try to say their name just like blah, all at once, I kind of blob them together. Yes, it was Malkythera, who's another regular in the chat. So I wanted to take this time. To thank Malkythera for the all the cool graphics that they've done for us. It wasn't just the bullshittery thing. They've also did the logo that you see in the background that you saw at the beginning of the show there. And chances are, as we go on and we start adding more and more stuff to the show, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more images that she comes up with us. So again, Melkythera, thank you so much for your hard work and your creativity. The show is going to benefit quite a bit because of you. Other things that we're going to talk about, it's kind of an improv style show here, right? Just like on those late night shows. That's why I brought Mini Bun along. Obviously, she has a really great personality. She has a good voice. She has a nice presence on the camera and stuff. And she's kind of clever sometimes, too. You know, sometimes when she makes jokes, we laugh with her and not just at her. So, you know, when it was going into selecting the people that I wanted on the show, she definitely came out at the top there. So, Mini Bun, I'm going to take my proverbial hat off to you. It is not a fedora, since you pretty much have the hipster vibe cornered on the show with your vape.
Yes.
Yeah. So, with that, pop culture type of stuff, you know, we're going to talk about...
My glasses probably don't help either.
No, they don't, but it's okay. It completes your look. We're going to talk about pop culture related things, you know, stuff that pops up in the news, gaming related stuff, obviously, you know, whatever you want to talk about when you come in, you know, we're going to talk about some of the stuff, like you know, when I asked Mini Bun, you know, the type of games that she's into, you know, MMO things she does. Yes, Scorpio 1401, I am sick, my allergies are back, but I've been making you guys wait here for quite a while now on the late night show, and I finally announced it. When I woke up like this, I'm like, you know what, I can't cancel. You know, if I cancel, they're all going to be up in arms, so the first episode's just going to have to sound like shit, with me sounding like death, and hopefully Mini Bun can carry us the rest of the way.
I carried Google Library yesterday, or today.
Yeah, there's Shintasin in the chat now. There'll be peace while I am gone. Yep, he's actually getting ready to leave right now, but thank you, Shintasin, for stopping by. So, the first person that we're going to bring into the call tonight and talk to is, again, someone that people... Oh, shit. I forgot.
What did you do?
Messing with... Alright, so here's the other thing. Messing with Skype and OBS. So you see Mini Bun here on the camera. Obviously, she's lovely. That's another reason why I chose her.
Yeah, only a reason, to be honest.
It's not
because I like to fuck around.
Not true. One of the reasons. But unfortunately, the way that OBS works with window capture, but just on Skype, when I capture the window, if something goes over top of the region that I've selected to capture, it shows that. So that's why when I just switched right there to look for someone to bring into the call, you saw it come up on the stream here. So because of that, if we bring anybody into the call, it's going to mess up her camera. So as a result, when we bring people into Skype, boom, we have this cute little still of what I assume is a Visenya bun. That's what a Visenya bun actually looks like, right?
I am just a cupcake in the shape of a bunny.
Yep, that's right. Something like that. So
This is a facade.
the first person that we're going to bring into the call tonight is actually someone that, if you are a regular here on the chat, you're going to recognize. He's someone that we beat up on quite a bit, and who's actually been a fan of all of our other podcasts for quite some time. And let's see if I can get him in here really quick. It's ringing, it's ringing. Come on, pick up. Skuro, I warned you that I warned you that I was gonna be. Oh, there he is. How's it going, Skuro?
Scurbro!
Skurbro, that's
good.
right. Congratulations,
What's up?
man. You are the first caller on the Late Late Show with Kallo Landis. How does that make you feel?
Feeling pretty awesome.
Feeling pretty important, are you?
Yeah,
Expecting to get kicked any second, are you?
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Well, there's actually a pretty good reason that I decided to give you this once in a lifetime honor, if you will. This honor.
My example again?
What's that?
I said, am I example again? Is that
No,
what this
no,
is gonna be?
no. I'm not
Okay.
gonna make an example out of you. I'm actually gonna let you stay. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna let you talk. You're gonna have a few words with us. You know, help us decide on a few topics to talk about. Actually, the reason that I decided I was gonna have you be the first caller was you actually went through and you actually did something pretty cool for us. You said you sent it to a Nero. I don't know if he ever responded back to you or mentioned it at all. But the past few days, you've gone through like 15 days worth of Limit Break Radio streaming. And you picked out what you thought would make some really good highlights, and you gave us the timestamps and everything. You sent them to us so that we can actually get those highlighted and exported to YouTube, right?
Mhm.
That's fucking commitment, first of all. I know how doing something like that can be extremely, extremely grueling, right? Even when I actually wrote down, as we're streaming live, I wrote down like a bunch of stuff that I thought would make good highlights. Even going through and doing that, it can be annoying sometimes, right? So the fact that you've gone through like 15 fucking days worth and you have all these listed for us, I really appreciate that. And so this is my way of saying thank you. Is I wanted to bring you on the show tonight as our first ever guest and talk to you a little bit, right?
Oh, it's awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So first of all, how'd you come to be here? How'd you come to be into our community? I mean, you've been following Limit Break Radio for quite a long time, haven't you?
Yes. Been with LBR since the 11 days.
Since the 11 days. We call people who've been with us that long legacy listeners. And again, guys, I apologize for all the lag and the buffering and shit. I honestly don't know what the fuck the problem is. People are saying that the audio quality sounds alright, though, so I think that's the important part is the audio quality, and hopefully the highlight at the end isn't all fucking laggy and shit like this too. But yeah, so you discovered us back in the 11 days. Now, when we started podcasting for 14, did you find us again pretty quick?
Actually, I think I came across you guys back in, I think, episode 15.
Okay, so
And that was more because personally, I fell out of Final Fantasy entirely. It took me a while to get back into it.
So when you got back into it, were we one of the first things that you looked for?
Yeah, I was actually curious if you guys were still doing this and if you guys had moved on to 14 or not. And sure enough, that was the show.
Oh, cool. Well,
Yay!
you know what? Even though nobody else will probably admit it, we're glad that you did. You, like Visenya, have been a pretty important part of our community, you know. Even though, Juxta, I have no idea how to do that. I'm not a techie person thingy. Why don't you come on in here and help me out, Juxta? You can be the tech guy for this episode. This is getting off to a great start. Sorry about that, guys. Twitch seems to have crapped out for a second there. My max bitrate is 3000, which I feel like is pretty big. So I don't think that that's the problem. It might just be Twitch tonight. Hey, Juxta, how's it going? When you talk
Hi,
about the
Juxta.
bitrate, you mean encoding, like right there, that should be high, right?
At least
You
all the
think it might
jitters
be
are coming
too
out
high?
now, though.
Is too high a thing?
Yeah, because if it's too high, then our internet can't send it out fast enough.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Let's see if this helps at all. But guys, this is juxtaposition.
Hi,
Hey,
Juxta.
I do? Are you sure? No, I don't think so. It looks like it's fine. Alright, we'll see. They say the stream isn't skipping anymore, so maybe Juxta fixed it. Thank you, Juxta. If you did, it seems to be fine now. Or maybe it was just that reconnect that it needed. Who knows? So, yes. So, Skuro, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself as a gamer? I mean, this is a gaming talk show. We are on Twitch.tv here. So, give us a little bit into the background of you.
Well, so pretty much for me, gaming, I never really got into MMOs at all. My background was mostly in FPS games, and then eventually getting to kind of like little adventure games like Mario and Tomb Raider and things like that. I actually had my cousins force me to play 11. It was something that I was convinced was going to be terrible, and I didn't want to be a part of. And I am glad that they absolutely completed me to play this game, because if not, I wouldn't be in this community that I honestly genuinely enjoy. Yeah, I mean,
Alright, so
I don't
what
know.
you're saying is that it's your cousin's fault that we have to deal with your bullshit.
Pretty much. That's
Son
fair.
of a bitch. Now we know who to blame. Thank you,
Yep.
Skuro's cousin.
Yep. Feel free to blame Balmung, because that's exactly where they're at.
Of course, that makes sense. Alright, so another thing that I wanted to do, when it comes to talk show type stuff like this, or late night shows in general, I'm actually a big fan of them, despite the fact that I don't watch them a whole lot. And in particular, one show that I really, really, really enjoy, and I don't get to watch it often enough, is Inside the Actors Studio. I'm not even sure if it's still going on or not. But they have a particular question that they always ask their guests that I sort of wanted to make that a habit on here as well. It's not the same question, but it's of a similar variety. And on that show, they have a bunch of interviews about their life's work, blah, 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 and stuff like that. But at the end, they're always asked, what's your favorite curse word? And that's not the thing that I want to ask, because I don't think that there's a whole lot of answers, and we, not really, cursing on here isn't really a big deal, like it probably is on there anyway. But the thing that I always want to know from people, and Visenya, I'm going to have you answer this for me as well, is, Skuro, what was the moment that stands out in your mind that made you a gamer?
Ooh. Probably like my late night LAN parties I used to have with friends, like for birthdays and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
Back in the day where if you wanted to play with a bunch of other people, you actually had to strap your consoles together and use multiple TVs.
Yep.
I think that was honestly what really put me like on video games for life at this point.
Any particular game?
We used to do GoldenEye all the time. That was the thing.
Nice. Nice. I was going to say, if you say Counter-Strike, I'm going to drop you from the call. I don't care what the fuck
No.
I said earlier.
Hell no. I hate
Cool.
Counter-Strike.
GoldenEye. Yeah, who's your favorite character on GoldenEye?
Odd Job.
Oh, come on. That's the obvious choice.
He's my man.
Now, besides the
Small
fact that you look
target,
like you could be
dodge.
Odd Job, all right? Thinking about it now, we get you. Yeah, you can totally be Odd Job. We get you a nice little top hat to wear. Yeah. All right. So wait. Are you telling me that your friends didn't have like a no Odd Job ban Odd Job rule? Because
Oh,
every
no, there
group of
definitely
friends
was.
had a no Odd Job rule.
Yeah, for sure. There was no Odd Job.
So who did you play then?
I think I was always between either Bond or Jaws.
All right,
At
fair
that
enough.
point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Visenya, are you old enough to remember GoldenEye?
I played it because my cousins had an N64.
All right. What about you? Did you have a favorite character in GoldenEye?
Odd Job.
Son of a bitch. And what about when Odd Job was
Trent.
banned? I mean, I realize he's the same height as what you are, but you had to have somebody else that you played as.
Hey!
Odd
For
Job.
those
Real.
wondering, Mini Bun is Mini because she is a whole 5'1". The Mini
Yes.
Bun is a literal.
So you just really connected with that character, Visenya.
Mm-hmm.
So is there another character besides
Uh,
Odd Job that you like to play?
Jaws.
Jaws again.
I think Jaws was the only other character that I liked playing. If I couldn't play Odd Job or Jaws, I didn't want to play.
My favorite character was actually Baron. What was his name? The tall guy with like the giant top hat, all circus looking. It was Baron something. I can't remember the second part of his name
Oh,
though.
shit. Yeah, I'm forgetting that one.
You know who I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn it.
It always made it a lot harder because he was a lot bigger target, and shooting him in the hat also counted as his head. So But
Yeah.
there it is. Yes, Baron Samedi or Samedi, however it's pronounced. He was always my favorite. I had a cousin who played that game like a fucking pro. Like if Twitch and stuff was around the same way that it is now back when he played, like he would win money at college playing people. He was fucking insane. You could go into the complex level and he would have only grenade launchers on, right? And in split screen, doesn't matter where you were or where he was. He could look at your screen, know exactly where you were in relation to him, shoot a grenade into the air so that it would come down and hit you. Like every fucking time. Like you see stuff like that in Call of Duty where people like lob a knife or something like right as they spawn and like happens to hit somebody. I always thought that was like random luck or something, or maybe since it's at the beginning, they just know, oh, if I throw it right here, hopefully I'll hit somebody at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
No, he actually knew like how to do that shit, and it was fucking impressive. We gave him our cartridge for a weekend, and he unlocked everything in it for us. There was stuff in that game that you could unlock that I didn't know that you could unlock. He was a fucking pro. Someone asking what happened to Minibun's face. What happened to Minibun's face?
I already told him.
Is, well, I'm going to show them.
When?
Is this when
Wait,
we?
can they just
whoops.
see my big ass forehead?
No, they can't see anything right now. Whoops,
Ah.
not doing the right one. Boom! There. When we have more than one person in the call, it messes up the cameras. So, yeah. When we have somebody in the call, we switch to what is called the mini still. And that is an actual picture of Mini Bun in her final form.
Yes.
That is Mini
Final
Bun's
form.
final form. That's right. Yep. So, Skuro, let me ask you something. 'Cause something that's been going around the social medias. I know everybody in here's heard about it. Everyone's probably sick of it already. I know that a Nero is, and that is the death of two beloved celebrities, David Bowie and Alan Rickman. Right. Now, obviously they were pretty awesome guys. They had a lot of stuff they contributed. I was never a big fan of Bowie, not because I didn't like his work or anything. I don't know, was never really got into it for whatever reason.
He was
Same
super
here for me
weird.
personally.
That
He
was
was
the
really
issue
weird.
I always had.
Yeah, and you know what? He's they've been playing a lot of Bowie on the playlist where I work, like just tons of Bowie all the time. And I like his stuff. I just
it's
never
on
really
loop.
got into it, right? And then obviously Rickman, who has had tons and tons and tons of iconic roles and stuff. Skuro, did you feel any kind of feels when you heard either of the news from those two?
No,
Not really?
honestly, not at all. I mean, and I heard Alan Rickman's pretty good on Pride and Prejudice.
Have you not seen a bunch
Fuck
of Rickman
you.
stuff?
No, honestly, I've only seen him once in a Western and another time in which I think he co-starred in a like a kind of a documentary about
Wait,
wine.
Hold on. Are you saying you've never seen Harry Potter?
Okay, no, I've seen Harry Potter.
Oh,
But
okay.
see, that's like the more obvious one where I'm like, I kind of just
obviously.
assume that everyone's seen that one.
What about Die Hard, man?
Oh, my
no.
god, he was so great in Die Hard.
Right, that
Favorite
was
Christmas movie.
Yeah, that was like his breakout role.
Yeah, it was.
So
Okay,
you've seen,
so, yeah,
you've
I've
seen
seen a
Die
few
Hard
of them.
too. All right, so yeah, you've seen a few of them then. Okay, cool. Yep. David Thor Carson pointing out that David Bowie, was pretty iconic in Labyrinth. I have seen Labyrinth, obviously. I feel like that I remember David Bowie more as an actor than I did as a musician.
Yeah.
So
Same.
yeah.
And
So
to be honest, I've heard so much about Labyrinth, and I've wanted to watch Labyrinth. I've never brought myself just to sit down and be like, all right, let's watch this.
it's fucking weird, man.
I've heard it's a complete like acid trip kind of movie. Yeah.
It
Yup,
is.
It's pretty weird. You know what? On that note of being pretty weird, we're going to go ahead and see if we can't bring in our next guest for the night. Let's see if they pick up. Now, Skuro knew that I was going to try and call him. I gave him a heads up, right? This next person does not know that I'm going to call them to bring them in tonight, but they're another person that a lot of people here in the chat are going to recognize as being on the show before us, right? So let's add to the group call.
Mr. Caller.
Excited.
I know. I'm actually really interested who this is.
Wow, that was cute.
Oh, I thought that he like just came in with that too. I'm like, wow, that's an opener.
Malkyria.
Hi, Valkyria.
Darling,
I
how you
burped for
doing tonight?
you.
I'm sorry?
I said, how you doing
I burped
tonight?
for you.
Visenya. Manners, please. Okay? How you
Hey,
doing, Mal? What? Again! Visenya? Do you mind? Okay, are you good? Good. Alright, she zipped her lip, she's locked it, she's thrown away the key. Valkyria, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. I'm kind of feeling rather full.
Rather full?
Yes.
Did you just eat?
I ate like a few hours ago, but I ate quite a bit.
Are you familiar with the term food baby?
Probably.
Do
Like,
you-
I feel like my stomach's fit to burst, but I've been basically just kind of like lying down.
All right. Well. Do you mind being in the call with us tonight? Do you mind being on the show here for episode 1?
Oh, not at all.
Oh, good.
In fact, I'm
good.
honored.
Oh well, good. You were actually one of the
Yay!
first people that I started calling when I started doing this whole thing of bringing people into the call with me on the show. So, I thought that you would be a good addition for episode 1. Okay. So the first thing,
Have a question.
go ahead, Mini Bun, with the question.
Why is it gross when I burp on stream, but a Nero gets to do it all the time?
First of all, it is gross when a Nero burps on stream. Second of all, I have no control over Nero, and I feel like people expect it from him because he's just a giant slob of gross. Okay.
That's fair.
He is
Pretty sure
made
his
of
response
Cheeto
would be
dust.
fuck off. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So Malkyria, in case this is anyone's first time on the stream, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that well, not a lot of people, but there will be people, or at least a person who probably watches this on YouTube or downloads it if I get into a podcast format. So for them, obviously you are, I would say, a prominent figure within our community here at Twitch and Limit Break Radio. So why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself as a gamer, Malkyria, if you don't mind.
As far as my gaming background goes, I would say my earliest memory was watching my dad play through Super Mario on this pirated console he bought from a friend. Well, not bought, but like his friend gave it to him. And I remember my favorite game on that thing was Adventure Island, and I don't know why. But,
Wow, Valkyria really taking us back.
but as far as other gaming goes, like I've played Pokemon, I've played Call of Duty. Like I'm basically like the culmination of everything that other people hate. Like I'm that Call of Duty person. I'm that casual person who plays like other casual games. But as of right now, I have gotten into League of Legends and Final Fantasy XIV, which I started playing back during open beta.
Wow, so you've been with Final Fantasy a while. We're going to try not to hold some of those things against you. Visenya failed to mention that she also plays League of Legends.
I don't play it as much anymore, but I do play it. I've been playing more Dota 2 lately.
Thanks to who?
What? Excuse you?
Thanks to who?
No, not to you.
No, I know, Malkyria. Thanks to
Thanks-
Malkyria. You think I want to take
Yeah,
credit for that? No.
No, I
No.
wasn't saying what to you though. I was saying what to Skuro.
Oh, don't
I-
listen to
I
anything
have no
Skuro
idea what
says. You
you're
can just
talking about.
ignore him.
Oh, you have no idea what I'm talking about now? Okay.
So, Malkyria, I guess you also answered, or with your answer, you also answered the question about at what point did you become a gamer. I'm going to assume that was another one of the big contributing factors for you.
I think I would say I became a gamer, quote unquote, when I started playing Mabinogi. But then after a while, my
Oh
computer,
my god,
yeah.
that game.
After
I
a while,
hate
my
that
computer conked out.
You weird.
Like I have a lot of fond memories about it until it became like such a fucking what do you call it?
G4 ruined that game.
Oh no,
Clusterfuck?
not even like a clusterfuck, but like when it started being a sellout to basically like they even went about changing the slogan because Mabinogi used to be known as they had like this little slogan, "Your fantasy life." Now it's
It was
your
supposed to
anime
be
life.
like, yeah.
And now I've seen nothing from it but like but people running around with Sword Art Online shit. There's Vocaloid minions or something like that, and
You can have Hatsune Miku Harry now, but you have to pay $10 extra to get it. Fuck yourself.
glamour. Glamour is the end game right there, and it's like, I wanted to get back into it, but no, that just kind of like turned me off.
We've,
How long ago?
We've got
When did you
we got
s-
Minibun's camera back up, just so you know.
Oh yeah.
And just because I want to mess with people out there like Juxta who have OCD about everything being perfect on the stream, when you talk, you can actually see like the little blue border that lights up around your name on Skype, flash and flicker. And I know that's gonna fucking drive people fucking crazy. Yeah.
We judged it.
Yep. So you played Makinogi, the Weeaboo online game, until they fucked it up with pay-to-play stuff, basically.
Wait,
right?
wait.
Well,
Can
until they actually became Weeaboo sellouts.
Oh. Okay.
That's coming
Can
from
I
me.
ask you? Can I ask a question?
Sure.
No. Yes, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Ask your question.
When did you start playing Mabinogi? Did you play it like early on? Because I played it G1 to G4 and then stopped.
I think I started playing around G6 up to.
You missed the best part of that game then.
I apparently did. I was late to the cavalry. I was absolutely late to it.
Because that big ass continent that they added ruined that game.
Well,
Because you used to just have like Dunbarton and the M City, I don't remember what it was called, and the little city, and that made the game feel better community wise, and then everything started spreading out and people stopped hanging out anymore.
Skuro, how's the Weeaboo vibe feeling right now? It's getting a little
I'm
high for
feeling
you?
it's reaching some critical levels.
It's,
I'm
we
just
don't want
saying.
we don't want to be put under Weeaboo suspicion. So we're
This
gonna.
is not Weeaboo suspicion.
You're
This
talking.
is-
You're
this is
talking
the
about.
game.
You're talking about an online game that I can't pronounce. Okay, it is Weeaboo suspicion. Okay, hashtag
Yep.
Okay,
racism.
fine.
There.
So just put a pin in this, and you guys can have your girl talk later.
Fine.
Minibun, I didn't get to ask you. At what point did you decide? You know what? I'm a gamer.
I don't know. Probably whenever I started getting really into Final Fantasy, I think 8
Uh-huh.
or 9. One
I
of the
thought-
ones on the PS.
What was
Which
the
one
fir-
was on the PS2? Because I don't remember which one I played.
That was 10. I thought you haven't played
10?
past
Wait,
8.
wasn't that 9?
I know 10
wait.
was on it. I think I played 10 too. Whichever one was the dress-up game.
That was 10
Oh,
too.
that's 10 too.
Yeah,
Now, you told me you haven't played past 8, because I told you need to play 9.
because I don't remember anything I did in 10-2.
Oh, okay, well, fair enough.
I don't remember a single thing except that I did every single thing I possibly could to make my characters look prettier, and I stayed up. I would sneak into the living room while my parents were sleeping and play that game because I wanted another costume.
You know what the worst part of that game was? Was that one of the best costumes, Lady Luck, was locked behind some bullshit minigame that involved fucking math? Fuck that.
Fuck math.
Like everyone
I
hated that
actually
game just
was
altogether.
so good at math because of that
No.
game. Because
Oh,
I got that
okay.
Lady Luck.
Fair
outfit.
enough. I eventually got it too after many resets and rage quitting. But like a lot of people hate that game just because of what it is. But I thought that was a great game. I loved that game, except for that fucking math minigame. Fuck you, Square Enix, and you're fucking trying to educate us bullshit. For me, a lot of people have heard this story because A, they've heard it on Limit Break Radio, they've heard it on Final Encounter Cast. This is a whole new show, so fuck you guys. I'm going to talk about it again. What's Final Fantasy VII? Final Fantasy VII is what turned me into a gamer. I mean, I had a PlayStation before that, and obviously I'd played like a bunch of Sega stuff, and I'd played a bunch of Mario stuff. And maybe it could even go back before that to when me and my sisters used to lock ourselves in the room and play Mario from like sun up to sundown. There was actually one day where there was no lock on the door, but like one day my stepmom just came to like come into the room and like the door wouldn't open. And she's yelling at us. She's like, you open this door, unblock whatever's back there. We're like, no, seriously, there's nothing there. We are not doing this. The door was just jammed for some reason. And we were stuck in there until one of us, like, peeled back the paneling on the wall and went into the other room through the closet. And eventually stepmom, like fucking just busted the door down with her shoulder and like broke the frame out and stuff. And we're like, see, look, there's nothing there. The fucking door is just fucking weird and shit. But yeah, like just from sunup till sundown, that's all we used to play was like Mario and Sega. Stepmom sat down with us to play one day. We're like, you know, we'll have you, you know, you come in and play with us. You know, the way that we do it is when we run out of lives on Sonic, then you can play. And next thing you know, after like, you know, 15 minutes, we're up to like 70 lives on Sonic, and she's like, this is bullshit, and leaves. But for me, I think when I actually realized myself when I was a gamer, and an RPG gamer at that, was with Final Fantasy VII. I played a demo of it at my friend's house. David, I can't remember his last name. But anyway, played at his house, just a demo of it, and then someone had the real game and came over for a sleepover for like my 12th or 13th birthday party or something like that. And they had brought that over, and I just played it all night and ignored all my friends who were just like watching movies and shit like that, and fell in love with the storytelling. And so yeah, for me it was Final Fantasy VII. That's what made me a gamer. So now, since I have all you guys here, I wanted to bring up that topic again. David Bowie and Alan Rickman. Visenya, Valkyria, were either of you two particularly touched by their deaths?
I was devastated when I heard about Alan Rickman because Harry Potter was a very, very, very big part of my childhood.
Okay, it's not anymore?
No, it still is. Like, for instance, for my birthday, my friends took me to the Harry Potter exhibition when they had it here. I think it was like 2 years ago, and what it basically was an exhibition where they had the actual props that they had, the actual costumes they had, and we got to walk around and kind of like experience that, and that to me was like one of the best days fucking ever because I got to nerd out about Harry Potter and I would tell them all this stuff about it, and when we got to the part with the Yule Ball, I kind of like looked at Hermione's dress, and don't get me wrong, Hermione looked amazing in that, but the fucking outfit needed to be blue. that was literally the thing that bothered the shit out of me because that thing was blue in the fucking book. And
what bothers me is that they made Dumbledore like this angry old man in 4, and I'm like, no, he's supposed to be sweet.
Oh my god. No,
Harry, did you put your name into the goblet of fire?
That was the line that got to me. That was the line. I was like, I always imagined that scene where he would look at him, and it would basically him just kind of like telling him this in like a calm voice, and like, you know, the calm before the storm and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always figured that was how that would play out, but no, he had to fucking grab him and like shout at him. It was like, yeah, that played out a little differently.
I actually remember seeing something online at one point where someone had actually highlighted that passage from a book where it says, like, Dumbledore whispers to Harry, or says calmly, "Did you put your name into the goblet of fire?" And then it showed from the movie. He's like, "Ah, Kraken!" Okay, but actually, and what about you, Visenya? David Bowie or Alan Rickman? Were you particularly devastated?
I was sad to hear that Alan Rickman.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, obviously, a little bit of sadness is going to come because
Yeah,
I think when anyone who's dear to us in some way or another dies, it's obviously sad.
I was pretty sad because Harry Potter, kind of like Valkyrie, it was a big part of my life because that was how me and my mom got through a lot of the difficult times in my parents' divorce. Was we would watch Harry Potter together. We watched those movies. I mean, it's like clockwork. Every year we have to watch the entire all 8 movies.
Okay, and
every single year.
What about Robin Williams? I'm sure all 3 of you.
Oh,
I cried when Robin Williams died because he was far and away one of my heroes, and it was sort of like my brother when Steve Irwin died. My brother was crying when Steve Irwin died, and I cried whenever Robin Williams died.
Why do you guys think that is? You guys have never talked to them before, right? It's not like it's not like there's something now missing from your life, because the reason that you feel attached to these people, the reason that we feel attached to all famous people, is because of the stuff that they've created, and the stuff that because of those creations we've witnessed and it's made us feel, right? So, let's take, for example, Robin Williams, since I think everyone has seen enough of his stuff that we all, can relate to that in some way. So, Robin Williams is gone, right? Nothing is now gone from your life. You never talked to him on the phone, right? You didn't meet him at the coffee shop once a week and, have a chat to where now you can't look forward to that anymore. All the things that he gave to us are still here, right? You can go back, you can watch Mrs. Doubtfire. You can go back and you can watch the Harry Potter films. You can boot up the MP3 player. You can listen to all of David Bowie's stuff, and those things, in fact, now are probably going to have greater significance on you. So, why do you think that is? Why do you think we feel such a great loss when a performer, an entertainer like that dies? All they've done is give to us. So, when they're finally gone, when they finally leave, we're not really losing anything, are we? Because in most cases, too, they've been around for a long, long time. I mean, sure, I'm sure Alan Rickman might have had a few more performances in him, or even it was rumored that David Bowie was going to have a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, right? But they have definitely given a lot more to us than they've taken away from us. So, why do you think that is? That we feel that way?
For me, with Robin Williams, because that's the only actor I've ever had where I've legitimately cried. And kind of a sad story. The reason I felt so strongly about that was because of the way he died, the fact that he committed suicide, and the fact that my friend, who had done the same in high school, was a huge fan of him, and her biggest dream was to meet him, and it was my biggest dream too. It was this dream we shared, and it just got taken away from me in the same way my best friend got taken away from me. So it was just one of those moments that I was hit with everything.
Right. That makes a lot of sense too. Obviously, when things like this happen, it's not necessarily just the fact that they're gone. There can obviously be a lot of extenuating circumstances that go into that could evoke certain emotions or elicit certain responses from us. Obviously, Robin Williams, a huge gamer himself. Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda was his shit. He named his daughter after the game after the title character of the game, obviously. And they even did it was a commercial for the Nintendo DS or something like that for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, that
was awesome.
Which was really, 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 really cute. Yeah. I don't know, Skuro, what do you think? I mean,
so for me, it's more of just seeing that potential is gone now. He's never going to be able to make another movie. He's not going to be a voice actor for a lot of actors when they get too old to act anymore. They go the voice actor route. So it's just to know that that's never going to be there again. Granted, everything we have is what we have now. Knowing that that's never going to be a light that he's going to be able to contribute to the world again. It's really sad to me.
True, but at some point, that's going to happen anyway. I mean,
that's true.
Let's say, for example, tomorrow we find out that Sean Connery's passed away, right? I think that's probably going to hit a lot of people pretty hard, right?
Yeah,
it probably would.
Do you think they're going to say the same thing about him, even though he hasn't made a movie since League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in the early 2000s?
See,
I mean, at this point, he's pretty much retired. He's not coming back because they tried. Okay, Steven Spielberg really fucking tried to get him back for the last Indiana Jones, right? Maybe he knew something that we didn't know that was going to suck so bad. But the point is, they really tried. But Sean Connery's pretty much done, right? We're not going to see his talent anymore in movies.
I think a big part of it is just the memories you attach to those actors, because it depends where they were in certain times in your life and what their movies made you feel, or their TV shows made you feel.
It's also really just what they stood for. I mean, when you think about Sean Connery, you're thinking of course, James Bond. You're thinking, his latest movie, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I mean, he's more action role. And, a lot of those actors, yes, they definitely do matter and they become, icons of that past. But Robin Williams, he really stood for something completely different than those other actors. I mean, what he brought through comedy and his, even, the Genie itself, just what that stood for entirely for a lot of childhoods out there. I mean, it was a really big deal. And if you ever watch Patch Adams, I mean, that shit hits you in the feels really hard. So it's a lot of those roles that you
Well,
know,
excuse
to
me.
have
Bless
someone
you.
that escaped depression during that time, I mean, it just seems really sad given that he is this kind of. If you imagine anyone to be like, you know, hey, stick in there, don't give up, it would have been him telling you that. It honestly is what I would imagine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that there is kind of the thing that makes us feel the way we do when we hear that certain celebrities that have affected us, you know, have passed. It's actually not about the loss of the celebrity themselves. There's actually a tweet that is the reason that I wanted to bring this up tonight. Is the reason that I wanted to talk about it. And of course now I didn't save it or anything, so I can't find where it was. It had popped up on Facebook somewhere, and I'm an idiot for not saving it. I even forgot who even said the tweet, who it was from. But basically, it kind of says the same thing that you just said, Skuro. It talks about how when a celebrity passes, you know, it's not them that we miss or that makes us sad. You know, what makes us sad is we realize what their work has taught us about ourselves. You know, Visenya, you mentioned that, you know, the way Robin Williams passed, you know, affected you because you had a friend who had went something similar, you know, went through something similar that he did. So it's those kinds of things that when they go, you know, those what they bring out of us, right? The actual death or passing of the celebrities themselves, I think, is something that shouldn't necessarily be mourned, but should be celebrated. You know, because of all the stuff that they've given to the world. That's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Skuro, you talk about the genie in particular. Yeah, that was a great performance. You know, that's not going anywhere. People are gonna remember that and have that for the rest of forever, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Celebrities actually, you know, in theory, live on longer than anyone else does because of the stuff that they've contributed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about tonight. I mean, you know, obviously people are all like, oh, you know, it's been a terrible year. You know, we've already lost Rickman, we've lost Bowie, but you know, the thing is, we haven't lost them because what they've created is still there and it's not going anywhere, right?
And
Yeah,
they'll still
that's
have
just-
that.
And it's just like Freddie Mercury. When Freddie Mercury passed, a lot of people were sad, but I mean, he's still on the radio to this day. Queen songs
Yeah, for
still
sure.
play on the radio. We all still remember "We Are the Champions," "Bohemian Rhapsody," "Somebody to Love." You know, those are all songs that we have connected with on one level or another. If you're a fan,
Yep.
but
Mel,
yeah, I
did
think
you want to add anything to that?
I was going to say like I guess the reason that that I agree with you with how we feel like we should celebrate this is they may be gone, but they still have that impact. Like they can still impact other people. Like there will be kids out there who will watch Aladdin for the first time, and they will look at Genie and think how funny he is, how lively he is. They will watch Pan if they do that, or hell, like if they watch Flubber, like and they'll see this jovial man just having so much fun, and like he'd still be able to bring a smile to other people's faces. And I feel like yeah, it sucks that they died that way, but the impact that they have will still be there. It's just and as Skuro said, it's the loss of that potential that I think resonates with a lot of people. Like it's just, you never really think that these people are really like are
Mortal?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio and the Scorpio 1401 in the chat, basically echoing those same sentiments. He says, I think it's just the fact that we think of famous people as kind of immortal. I mean, you know that they're eventually going to die, but you know, they just feel as if they could be immortal, and when they pass, it brings a reality check and a shock. But I would argue the opposite. You know, there is, I'm probably going to get this wrong on exactly where it comes from, and honestly, I know that there's probably a shit ton of different different religions or backgrounds and beliefs that echo this sentiment, but I feel like the one that I have probably heard it most used with is like Northern European sort of areas, that when people die, they don't leave this plane, and that they do become immortal because they live on in our memories. And as long as we remember them, then a part of them will always remain here. And in the case of performers and entertainers like David Bowie and Alan Rickman or Robin Williams, is their stuff is going to be around forever. You turn on your TV, you flip on a CD player, and there they are. And I would argue that there is immortality, and those type of things are never going to die, right? They live on now in our TVs, on our movies, and our radios, and stuff like that. So,
I mean,
obviously,
think of like Beethoven and how long he's been going on.
God.
I mean, he's not as popular, but
fucking rock star.
the
dude.
fact that song is still
Fuck
around.
you, fuck you, Beethoven isn't popular. He's a fucking rock star. Dude was fucking still writing shit deaf and blind. Are you crazy?
It's true. But I mean, that is
Insane.
literally the closest to immortality I think anyone could ever expect.
Yep. So, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I've never been particularly devastated by a celebrity death. I mean, yeah, obviously you hear it, and it does suck. It does suck. But it doesn't have to be a celebrity death for death to suck. But some people, really, really, really have a hard time with it, and I guess that's something I've never gotten, is as much as death does suck, I choose to embrace what the person who has passed has created and given to that world, and instead of, looking at what you've lost, instead embrace what they've left behind, because those are their true gifts to us and to the world.
I think, honestly, Robin Williams is the first time like a celebrity death ever touched me in any way. I mean, like, when you think of like Heath Ledger, even the two most recent deaths, it never really connected with me or mattered all that much to me. I mean, I watched the movies. I never really got into the books. And, I mean, when it came to Snape, I thought, honestly, like, from what I did read, which was, like, literally the first book, I was like, okay, I could see how he's a really great choice. And I even heard that apparently they modeled the character after him to begin with. But it was one of those things where those really didn't hit home with me as much as Robin Williams did. Like, to me, he was literally, honestly, what made me feel great about just doing comedy bits and animation. As an animator, that really did connect with me. So, I mean, that's literally the closest I've ever gotten. Like, when Michael Jackson passed away, all that, it just never really hit home for me.
Yeah, and it's always sad when a comedian dies too, especially in that way, because it's that old saying, "Who makes the clown laugh?" It kind of makes you realize that even though they make everybody laugh and everybody feel happy, they have their own problems.
And it's like what they have to give to do that too. That's the other part that just kind of makes you really sympathize.
Yeah, and he was struggling with depression, and that kind of like when that happened, that kind of inspired me to basically try harder with my struggles with depression, and it made me feel like I at least owed this man that much.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that when Betty White eventually dies, it'll kind of be the same story with a lot of people, is because, she's this funny person. So
iconic. I mean, when even a Nero admits that someone going is a great loss, that's when things are getting serious. So, all right, guys. So I wasn't really sure how a lot of this was going to go today. I mean, look, these were my notes that I just jotted down really quick while I was like laying on my bed earlier, dying and playing Record Keeper. All this stuff that you see on screen right here, I kind of did in like 20 minutes time. That I just kind of tossed together. I kind of like how it is so far. I don't know, maybe it'll change up a little bit, maybe it won't. I'm not really sure. But yeah, honestly, tonight I had no idea how things were going to go, what the format of this show was really going to be, and I kind of expected it to crash and burn and just flame out in epic proportions, which is why I brought Skuro on here, because then if it did, I could have blamed him for it.
That's fair.
But,
Pretty fair.
Yep, I do want to thank you, Skuro, for joining us tonight, and Malkyria, too, as well as my cohort, Minibun. It's been an experience.
Ooh.
Even though we do kind of technically do this every night, it was still kind of weird and different, officially doing it.
Yeah,
And,
this time we actually had topics. Like, what?
Well, I mean, topics have sort of like came up before. There was the one night that we had Joe Never on, and we talked about like Marvel and
That was
DC
amazing.
stuff and like Star Wars stuff. So we do often when we do this late night, we do have a lot of really compelling, really interesting topics to talk about sometimes. But when we actually decide like, all right, this is a show now, it's just something's different about it, right? But I like it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It did. I thought that it worked out well. We were up to 60 people at one point. We're sitting at 47 now, so not much different than what a usual night was. So, if there is anybody else here who is new tonight and you've liked what you've seen, make sure that you first of all hit the follow button. I'm here just about every night now in 2016. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that up or not. Sometimes it's for a little while, sometimes it's for a long while, sometimes I talk, sometimes I don't. But hit that follow button if you liked what you saw here tonight. Come back and hang out with us. Go to limitbreakradio.com if you are interested in Final Fantasy XIV and you want to check out some of the podcasts that we have dedicated to it. And also go to twitch.tv/FinalEncounterCast, which is also right down there, everything you need to know. And follow us there. Go to FinalEncounterCast.com if you want to check out some of our game-related podcasts. But otherwise, that's it for us tonight on the Late Late Show with Kallo Landis. If you want to stick around, I am going to take just a short break here, but then I will be back to do my usual streaming stuff and just play some games. I'm not sure what I'm going to play yet. I just will have some leveling of the Dragoon to do on Final Fantasy XIV. But of course, I really want you guys to come back and talk with me and chat with me on there. So again, thank you everybody for stopping by to hang out and say hello. Kallo Landis, this is Minibun, and we will see you again whenever I decide that it's time for this to happen.
Bye. Hopefully next episode won't be as depressing.
Hopefully funny topics.